Hello everybody, how you doing? It's Damon yet again for another video. And today, following the lead of Jason Solomon, the Solomon Monster, I felt like I should indicate what would be my predictions in terms of wrestling for the year 2026. Now, on the day of recording, which is today, just learned it yesterday, Drew McIntyre won the WWE title. Finally won it over Cody Rhodes. And is very good in my opinion because it allows this to for things not to be as stale as this. I think Cody did his time, and honestly, I don't think Cody really needs to be WWE champion going forward for their foreseeable future. Maybe he could win the world title, but not now. That's not a prediction, but this. And we've learned that basically Drew McIntyre is going to win whoever wins the number one contendership tournament, which they seem to do love in the WWE right now, and especially making sure that it's not even a finalist. It's just like their finals is basically all the semi-finalists wrestling it out, duking it out in a fatal four-way match. I expect Randy Orton to win. And honestly, I think that's what it should be. Cody Rhodes is going to be in the Rumble, fine. The Miz is going to be in the Rumble eventually. Uh, I expect maybe Sami Zayn to win it. Sami Zayn to maybe to win against Ilya Dragunov. I expect Trick Williams to advance. And what's the other one? There's Solo Sikoa and Damian Priest. I expect maybe Damian Priest to win due to interference from Uncle Ali in the White Six. And then afterwards, Randy Orton can win via, I don't know, RKOing Trick Williams to win and going on to wrestle Drew McIntyre, where he loses at the Royal Rumble. But I'll go on to some of my predictions, basically some of them that basically already listed out in a video prior to basically what I expect to see in at WrestleMania 42. So without further ado, one of my prediction, just like that video said, is that I believe that Sami Zayn, either at WrestleMania 42 or later in 2026, will finally win the WWE title. And he'll do so by pinning Drew McIntyre. Because I think the story writes itself. He should win the title, and next WrestleMania is too risky. You don't know if somebody's going to get injured. Might as well strike when the iron is up. So that's what I believe is going to happen. I believe LA Knight, you may laugh, but he may win either the world title this year or the IC title, but I believe he's going to win some singles gold this year. So, as far as Braun Breaker will be world champion, except it won't be at WrestleMania. It'll be at SummerSlam. He'll win the world title at SummerSlam, and he'll win it clean. But Roman Reigns will be world champion this year, and will be the one doing the honors to Braun Breaker. In my opinion, I don't believe that Roman Reigns should win the world title at WrestleMania. I still believe the world title match would be between CM Punk and AJ Styles and LA Knight. And if in this case, you could have AJ win or lose, whichever, and it'll lead up to Gunther later on that year retiring AJ Styles, but not right now. It's too soon. I don't want AJ to retire WrestleMania. I often see people retire WrestleMania. I see it as you could easily retire him as Survivor Series. So yeah, if that's the case, I believe Rhea Ripley will regain the women's world heavyweight title, and I believe she'll be the women's elimination chamber winner this year. But alas, she's not going to win back the women's world title at WrestleMania. That will be Liv Morgan who's going to win it at WrestleMania. But later on that year, preferably at SummerSlam 2026, Rhea Ripley will avenge her a year from Liv Morgan from 2 years prior, and she's going to win the women's world heavyweight title. And this time there will be no rematch, no excuse. It'll just go on. So yeah, I believe Jey Uso is going to go heel, but it's not going to amount for him to be a world champion, tag champion, or IC champion. It's just going to amount to him being the upper mid card where he should be. So I believe Bianca Belair will indeed return and should be the first ever woman to be both women's champion and U.S. champion. That's my prediction. I believe she'll win it this year, the United States title from Julia, and basically go on to wrestle Jade Cargill at WrestleMania 42 in a belt versus belt, title versus title. And in this case, the WWE is in a predicament, or they can actually end the Women's United States title, which honestly serves no purpose. The Women's IC title actually serves a purpose, but the Women's US title, not really. So you could basically end that thing right away. As far as uh, as far as Asuka is concerned, here's my bold prediction. I think that this year's going to break her WrestleMania losing streak. It's time, guys. It's about time that she wins at WrestleMania, and she's often in title match. And this year will be no exception. I believe in a four-way match between Becky Lynch defending against AJ Lee, Io Sky, and Asuka. I believe Asuka will be the one winning the women's IC title with Becky being distracted by AJ Lee. AJ Lee basically uh, delivering a finisher on her, basically Io Sky as well tries to break it up, and Asuka basically knocks out both AJ Lee and Io Sky and pins Becky Lynch to win the women's IC title. That's how I see it happening. I believe Obafemi will be a force to be reckoned with on the Raw roster, and I believe he's going to be IC champion within 4 months of his debut. And that's for some of my prediction in WWE. I also predicted that Joe Andrew on NXT will win the NXT title. So yeah. What else? Well, as a spoiler of basically a previous video, I believe Sami Zayn will be the Men's Royal Rumble winner in 2026 to go on to WrestleMania 42 and win the WWE title. And I predict that Liv Morgan will be the Women's Royal Rumble winner this year. And the last two competitors will be the same last two competitors at the Royal Rumble in 2023. It will be Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley. And again, I have them go through everybody else as number one and two, but this time it's Liv Morgan that ended up being the last. Liv Morgan actually happens to eliminate Rhea Ripley after Asuka, the second runner-up, helps Liv Morgan. So yeah, I believe the Elimination Chamber winner for the women's will be Rhea Ripley. And for the men, it will be a tie between AJ Styles and LA Knight. I see Braun Breaker and I see Roman Reigns in his Rumble return costing Breaker just about everything, which leads to their WrestleMania match, which leads to Braun Breaker winning clean. Because that win over Roman Reigns clean will do more for him than winning a World Heavyweight title in the mid card. So yeah. Uh, I predict that Gunther will indeed retire AJ Styles and perhaps Brock Lesnar in the same year. Uh, he's already been King of the Ring. I just remembered, so he's not gonna be King of the Ring again. I believe that I'm checking there, checking my list, checking it twice. Uh, I believe that the Money in the Bank man's winner should be you got Logan Paul, which is an interesting pick. You also have Dominic Mysterio if he's back from injury. It's often works with an eel. And just checking, does it make sense? Yeah, it would make sense for Logan Paul to be the Money Bank winner. As for the women's Money in the Bank winner, who could it be? Uh, could it be Bianca Belair? It wouldn't fit her character. No. Could it be Jade Cargill? No. Okay, and basically the Morgan, Stephanie Becker. Stephanie Becker has won a lot, so I wouldn't say that. I would have Stephanie Vaquera being the queen of the ring, but not the Money in the Bank winner. What could it be? Could be uh Io Sky done it before. I could have Roxanne Perez. I could see her winning it this year. So it might be a judgment day. Both of them have the Money in the Bank briefcase. Except in my booking decision, I might Dominic go back as a face, so I might just change my pick to Logan Paul winning the Money in the Bank win the Money in the Bank for the man, and for the woman, it could be Roxanne Perez. As far as King of the Ring, I could see, uh, we could basically see. I'm looking at the list of who makes sense out of the. There's part of me who feels like Obafemi could if he's challenged for the W title, but if not, maybe not. What could it be? And it has to make sense. Uh, that could be how Braun Breaker wins the world title. It could be King Braun Breaker. Yep, it could be him. That's my main prediction for this. I expect also WrestleMania 42 to actually be much better than last year, which is a bold take, I know. Uh, I'm trying to find, but he's got an hilarious prediction. Like, I predict that Maxine Dupree will have a bad match at one point or another this year. Oh, that's bold. Uh, what else? Nothing? Nothing, Damon? Okay, I'm going on. AEW. I might be critical of AEW, but I'm going to give you some prediction. I believe I believe that MJF will lose the World Heavyweight title at one point or another and regain it before All In. Where at All In he'll lose it to Willow Spray. Now, to whom he'll lose it, it could be to Darby Allin, but it wouldn't be a long reign for whoever beats him. MJF would regain it and lose it to Willow Spray. I believe that as soon as the Continental Championship is off John Moxley, that his former crew will turn on him immediately afterwards because he's the only face among heels. I believe that Swerve Strickland and Adam Page will indeed win the tag team titles. I believe the TNT title, I believe Kenny Omega is actually going to win it. Because all that's left for him is maybe TNT, National, and Continental title. And basically, Omega can say he did everything there is to do in AEW. And I believe that's what it'll be. It'll be the first ever Grand Slam winner in AEW history. That's my prediction. I believe Samoa Joe will retire. I believe that Mercedes Monet will have a long losing streak, and then afterwards, it'll end up like she was going to win a number one contendership in a multi-women's match by fluke. She regained her confidence, and actually wins the women's World Heavyweight title, preferably from maybe Chris Statlander to for a best out of three falls match, and basically the two other three to end the grudge. Uh, for AEW, that'd be this. I predict that unfortunately the 4 or 5 matches card, which basically I get to in another video, trend will not end. I believe they're actually going to double down on it. Now there's 4 matches. They're going to try to do this, and they might actually have 6 matches on each night of WrestleMania and SummerSlam. Because there's less is more, and now less is less. And it's like they don't seem to get the difference. And trying to find out this. And I believe, and I'll end with this, that the Hall of Fame inductees this year at WrestleMania 42 will include John Cena, Stephanie McMahon, shall be inducted, uh, Demolition, it's about time for tag teams. Uh, we'll have Rick the Model Martel. You could have Psycho Sid. You could have Mitsuharu Misawa as the international inductee. As a manager, you could have Jim Cornette. And as celebrity, you could have Cyndi Lauper. Those are my prediction for 2026. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. I know it's been shorter than usual, but that's good for me. Yay me! Let me know what you think. Bye.